Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingnay Tim Hoki bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include: Kotu extends total shutdown by 24 hours. Kuki Council imposes economic blockade across several Manipur districts. Sit-in protests held in Moreh over Central Forces' brutality against Kuki women. Ajay Kumar Bala takes oath as Manipur governor. News in details. In a decisive move, the Committee on Tribal Unity Kotu has extended the ongoing shutdown for another 24 hours, intensifying its stand against what it calls the government's blatant disregard for the Kuki tribal rights and dignity. The initial 12-hour shutdown, which began at 2 p.m. on January 2 and concluded at 2 a.m. on January 3, failed to elicit any response from authorities, prompting this bold escalation. The extended shutdown will run from 2 a.m. on January 3 to 2 a.m. on January 4, 2025. Kotu has also called for a mass public protest at Kangpokpi district headquarters at 11 a.m. to underscore the collective frustration and determination of the Kuki tribal communities. The tipping point for this intensified protest is the deployment of Central Security Forces to Saibol in the Bungpi region of Sadar Hills Thungtin subdivision. This move is seen as an act of provocation, disrupting the fragile peace and threatening the very fabric of the Kuki tribal existence. Despite Kotu's repeated peaceful appeals, the government's silence has only deepened the wounds of neglect and oppression. This is no ordinary protest, Kotu stated. It is a battle for justice, a fight for the survival of our people, and a stand against the systemic erosion of our rights. We will not rest until our voices are heard and our demands are met. Kotu has issued a firm demand for the immediate withdrawal of Central Forces from Valley presently posted at Saibol, labeling their presence as unnecessary and provocative. The committee also urged all Kuki people to unite in solidarity, warning that the government's apathy would only fortify their resolve. The extended shutdown is not just a display of defiance, it is a testament to the unyielding spirit of our people. Justice delayed is justice denied, and we will not be silenced by indifference, Kotu stated. The Kuki Council, an apex body of Kuki groups in Manipur, has imposed an economic blockade in all Kuki inhabited districts of the state from Thursday midnight till 2 a.m. on January 4 in protest against the alleged disregard for tribal rights and dignity by the state government and center. Vehicular movement and transportation of essential commodities passing through Kuki inhabited areas will be completely restricted during the blockade. The Kuki body has asked their people in all districts to raise common slogans for justice and to stand united in solidarity. The Kuki Council has endorsed the Committee on Tribal Unity Kotu, a Kuki group active in Kangpokpi district, which has called for the economic blockade, a total shutdown and a mass public protest at the district headquarters. The council was recently formed as the political platform for Kuki communities in all districts of Manipur. A mass sit-in protest was held today in Moreh, a border town in Manipur, in response to the alleged brutality of Central Forces, including the CRPF and BSF, against Kuki women in Saibol village, Thungtin subdivision, Kangpokpi district. The protest was organized by Kuki in Pitingnopal and took place at the Moreh Youth Club NYC campus. The protesters condemned the excessive use of force by Central Forces, which led to severe injuries among several innocent Kuki women. Thangminlin Mate, spokesperson of Kuki in Pitingnopal, said that the Central Forces, who have sworn to protect the lives and land of innocent people, are now turning against those who are protecting their community and land from separatist Meitei militants and their VBIGs. The Kuki community respects the uniform of the central forces, not the personnel. If the CRPF and BSF want to side with the Meitei militants, they should come in plain clothes or in the uniform of the Meitei militants. The Kuki community will chase you down the land of the Meiteis. He also advised the central forces not to misuse their uniforms. Teresa Hingnakim, president of the Kuki Women Union and Human Rights Moreh, also denounced the violence, calling it despicable and unacceptable. She emphasized that the Kuki Women Union, as mothers, would not tolerate such actions and demanded accountability for those involved. She urged the central government to take action against the personnel responsible for harassing and assaulting the Kuki women during the incident. In addition to these leaders, Kaihulal Haukip, president of the Hill Tribal Council Moreh, and Sekhuzang Baite, president of the Kuki Chief Association Tengnopal, also spoke out, reiterating their condemnation of the brutality faced by the Kuki women at Saibol. The Community on Tribal Unity (COTU) has extended the shutdown in Kangpopi district by an additional 24 hours as part of the protest, while an indefinite blockade along National Highway 2 continues in opposition to the presence of central forces in the region. The Kuki community has also been calling for the removal of the CRPF and BSF from their area, alleging that these forces have been aligning with Meitei militants and radical groups. The community views the presence of these forces as a significant threat to their safety and security. Condescension, intimidation, and the ethnocentric concept of Manipur state fueled the Meitei violence against the Kuki-Zo people in Imphal on 3rd May 2023. Churches and houses were vandalized, looted, and burned. Women were raped and killed. Daily West honors in Meitei localities were lynched, and helpless passengers by bloodhounds to death on the main roads. Demographic and geographical segregation following the exodus of Kuki-Zo and Meitei communities. The former to the hill, the latter to the valley. The status quo is reinforced by emotional and psychological separation owing to continued offensive from the radical Meitei groups and persisting state-sponsored hegemonistic exercise for the last 18 months. All this is daylight robbery, which the state media fails to hide. Follies, state-sponsored genocide, and Biren Singh, CM of Manipur, neither prevented the violence nor its escalation. Instead, the state forces led the Meitei radicals in the rampant attacks on Kuki-Zo settlements in the valley. In subsequent days, security forces continued to lead offensive on hundreds of Kuki-Zo villages near Meitei settlements bordering the valley districts. Hence, the infamous statement, state-sponsored genocide. Second, suspension of Operation SOO, the path of dialogue and peace. The Union Home Ministry appointed Advisor Northeast to engage in political dialogue, with tripartite suspension of operation groups signed in 2008 by KNO and UPF and the government of Manipur to negotiate an amicable settlement within the constitutional framework. Based on alleged ground rules violations, in January 2024, Sri and Biren Singh and the State Cabinet abrogated the tripartite suspension of operations agreement signed for peace and political dialogue. As head of the state, he forgets that permitting security forces to attack the Kuki-Zo settlement is a gross violation of SOO ground rules, not to mention the abject violation of the institution of the state and constitutional norms. Foibles. MLAs presumably at the Union Home Minister's behest, Biren Singh attempts to make peace with the Kuki-Zo MLAs, but fails to tell the truth that he spoke only to 1 or 2, not all 10. Peace mission failed miserably. Saibol Village and Buffer Zone. Following the onset of the conflict, the UHM established the buffer zones between the Kuki-Zo and Meitei-dominated areas to maintain peace or the absence of violence. Contrary to UHM's deliberation, Biren Singh ordered IG, CRPF, and DZP on 27 December 2025 for troops to be deployed amidst protests of the village folks at Saibol Village, which Meiteis relentlessly attacked from 24th of December onwards. If the intent was to maintain peace, the orderly thing to do was contain the perpetrators in the buffer zone. Triumph. head of the state, Biren rallied like-minded ethnocentric Métis radicals against Kuki Zo and successfully received an endorsement to remain head of state. In a fit of remorse, Biren announced regret on New Year's Day for the CRPF and BSF brutal action against Kuki Zo women protesters at Saibol on the last day of 2024. To be seen as sincere and fair, he must immediately withdraw the precipitating deployment from Saibol village and beef up the buffer zone for the safety of both the Kuki and Métis communities. A mass sit-in protest will be held tomorrow in Lamka in response to the alleged brutality of central forces, including the CRPF and BSF against Kuki Zo women in Saibol village, Lunting subdivision, Kangpopi district. As per information received from Kim Nehoy Lungdim, General Secretary, Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights, a sit-in protest jointly organized by Kohor and ITLF Women Wing will be held tomorrow, the 4th of January 2025 at Wall of Remembrance, Tuibong. The program will begin at 11 a.m. This sit-in protest is organized to show our condemnation against the brutality of the Central Security Forces over our women at Saibol, Tuichin area, Kangpopi district. All right-thinking women are requested to take part in the protest without fail. If any villages fail to take part in this coming event, strong actions will be taken against them. Since this is a very serious matter which gravely affects our fundamental rights and questions the view of the central government about us, every person is requested to take part without fail. Donations for the women who are on duty at Saibol will also be done. All are requested to come prepared. As of today, the 3rd of January 2025, the casualty report of the injured women at Saibol is provided as follows. The total casualty reported from the ground is 65. Number of victims discharged after getting first aid at Cycle Medical Camp is 25. Number of victims who are referred to another hospital is 40. Number of inpatients currently is 5. 2 are admitted at Mission Hospital, 2 are undergoing treatment in Guwahati. Mistress Naisi, whose left eye had been completely damaged, underwent surgery successfully on the 1st of January and is currently undergoing treatment. As per her CT scan report, her left skull is also greatly damaged and her treatment process is expected to take a while. Mistress Ngatim was referred to Guwahati from Senapati District Hospital on the 1st of January. As per her medical report, blood clotting took place inside her skull and she will be undergoing major surgery tomorrow. Her condition, by the grace of God, is seen to be improving. Mistress Lamhat Khongsai is successfully discharged from Senapati District Hospital and Go-To medical team had dropped her home on the 2nd of January. The 2 seriously injured victims are currently undergoing treatment at Guwahati. Let us remember them in our prayers for their speedy recovery and safe return. Jack Thangmoy, Education Secretary KSO General Headquarters, made an announcement requesting SSCGD successful candidates who are yet to receive their appointment letter to contact the KSO in the earliest. They are requested to submit a copy of their personal data at the KSO General Headquarters office. The concerned persons may contact 60092704991 at the earliest and visit KSO General Headquarters as soon as possible. It may be mentioned that the KSO prefers the concerned persons to form a group and submit it together. Ajay Kumar Bala on January 3 took oath as the Manipur governor. Bala was administered the oath of office by Manipur High Court Chief Justice D. Krishna Kumar. He inspected the guard of honor by Manipur Rifles personnel. Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, MLA's high-ranking officials, police officers, among others, took part in the oath-taking ceremony. The reshuffle comes in the midst of ongoing ethnic violence that has plagued the northeastern state since May 2023. Bala replaces Laxman Prasad Acharya, who held the Manipur post since July 2023. President Draupadi Murmu had approved the appointment. Bala, who has the rare distinction of being the longest-serving Union Home Secretary, completed his 5-year tenure in August last year. A moderate earthquake measuring 5.1 on the Richter scale was felt across parts of Assam and other northeastern states on the morning of January 3. The National Center for Seismology (NCS) reported that the epicenter was located in Myanmar at a depth of 127 km with coordinates at latitude 24.92 north and longitude 94.97 east. The quake struck at 10:02 a.m. While tremors were also reported in other northeastern states, the NCS has not yet confirmed this. As of now, there have been no immediate reports of casualties or damage. Earlier this week, mild tremors were felt in western and southwestern Sikkim on Thursday afternoon after an earthquake of magnitude 3.9 struck the region. According to National Center of Seismology, the epicenter was 10 kilometers deep and roughly 264 kilometers from Tadong. Following the earthquake, there had been no early reports of casualties or property damage. Despite the momentary tremors, there was no destruction. Meanwhile, a separate earthquake with a magnitude of 3.1 was detected in the Churachandpur district of Manipur earlier this week. Although no major devastation was observed in either instance, both these tremors demonstrate the seismic activity that is common in the northeastern region. Earlier in November 2024, it was reported that Assam experienced 12 earthquakes, which is the highest among all states in the country. After Assam, Uttarakhand recorded the second highest number of earthquakes in November with 4. In October, Assam was hit by 6 earthquakes. Mizoram Chief Minister Laldu Oma hosted a ceremonial send-off function for Mizoram Governor Dr. Hari Babu Kumbhampati, who departed on January 2 to assume his new role as the Governor of Odisha. In his ceremonial send-off function organized at the Lengpui airport, Kumbhampati expressed his gratitude for the warm hospitality and affection he received during his tenure in Mizoram and acknowledged Mizoram's significant potential for progress and urged collective efforts to advance the state further. Reflecting on his experiences in the state, he applauded the constructive environment of the state's legislative assembly proceedings and the electioneering. Kumbhampati expressed his deep attachment to Mizoram and conveyed his best wishes for the state's future. CM Laldu Oma thanked the outgoing governor for his contributions for overall development of the state and wished him success in his new role and extended an invitation to visit Mizoram in the near future. Dr. Hari Babu Kumbhampati was sworn in as the 22nd governor of Mizoram on July 21, 2021. After serving for over 3 years and 5 months, he will be heading for Odisha for his new appointment as the new governor on January 3, 2025. The incoming Governor General Dr. Vijay Kumar Singh, PVSM, AVSM, YSM, retired, is expected to arrive in Mizoram on January 8, 2025. He will be sworn in as Mizoram's 23rd Governor on January 9, 2025 at Ras Bhavan. The ceremonial send-off function of Dr. Hari Babu Kumbhampati was attended by Speaker Pu Lal Byakzama, Home Minister Pu K Sabdanga, PWD Minister Pu Van Lal Lana, Chief Secretary Pu Hili Ram Meena, DGP Pu Anil Sukla, and other dignitaries. Governor and Lady Governor Dr. Jayashree Kumbhampati were presented with farewell gift and well wishes for their new journey. Manipur CM and Biren Singh strongly reacted to Congress statement with respect to his recent apologies for the Manipur crisis. He said that his sorry was to victims of conflict but not to terrorists. Responding to a media query asked at the sidelines of the oath-taking ceremony of the newly appointed governor of Manipur, Ajay Kumar Bala, he alleged that the Congress party is the creator of ongoing crisis. As such, they would not want to bring peace and normalcy in the state. Congress party can say anything. They can even say that the sun is the moon. My recent apology for the Manipur crisis was to victims of the unfortunate incident who have lost their loved ones and displaced persons. Why should I apologize to terrorists? He responded about Congress claim made after his apologies for Manipur unrest. Biren highly appreciated the full-fledged governor of Manipur by the central government and stated that Sending an intelligent and competent person as governor of Manipur during this trying time to Manipur shows the serious concern of the central government in solving the problem of Manipur. Manipur Congress Chief on CM's apology, I know Balaji very well. He is well experienced and held many important posts in the administration of the government of India. Appointing such a well-experienced person as governor of Manipur is highly appreciated from the government side and people of Manipur. He hailed and expressed his hope and expectation that the new governor will do something to bring peace in Manipur, which is the top priority of the state. He also said that present conflict is complex. It will take time to resolve it. However, central government is doing what the people of Manipur asked to do. 60 to 70% of the demand is implemented. People should not have trust in the central government. Only then can Manipur be safe and protect the people of the state. Manipur Congress President Kesam Megachandra criticized Chief Minister N. Biren Singh's apology for the ethnic conflict in the state, calling it an acknowledgement of the government's failure. Speaking at a program on Wednesday, Kesam stated, by apologizing to the people in a press conference, Singh has admitted to the failure of the double-engine government in the state. Kesam further questioned Singh's response to the ongoing violence, asking, what will be the future course of action? I want to ask him what he is going to do. The violence and firing continue even today. Singh has said he is sorry and apologized to the people. The people of Manipur should think about the responsibility and accountability of his statement. Seven people died in a road accidents on Wednesday morning, including 5 in the revelry after New Year celebrations in Chennai and its suburbs, traffic police said. According to cops, the first death was recorded in Nilankarai on the East Coast Road, ECR in South Chennai. Hotel management student El Charukas, 19, died after his two-wheeler crashed into a stationary truck parked on the side of the road in the locality. While he died on the spot, his friend Sanjay, 19, from Saligramam, who was riding pillion, was admitted to a hospital with serious injuries. At Chetpat, Deepak, 22, a native of Nepal, died in a road accident in the morning. Similarly, Janitis, 18, a resident of Nukampalayam, died in a road accident at Pirumbakam after he drove his bike over a pothole. He was rushed to a nearby hospital but succumbed to injuries. In another incident, an OMR near Igatur, an unidentified person was found dead with his head crossed and a bike lying beside him. He was rushed to the Kromipet government hospital but was declared dead on arrival. Another senior citizen died in an accident caused by a two-wheeler in Guduvancheri limits, traffic police said. After sunrise on Wednesday, Suchitra came under the wheels of a truck in front of her husband, Sanmuga Sundaram, and died, police said. Despite strict controls, multiple videos of youngsters performing bike stunts on important roads like ECR were shared on social media. The riders were penalized by identifying the vehicle details available in the video. Additionally, around 242 two-wheelers involved in bike racing early on Wednesday were seized. They were returned to the owners after payment of fines. China is dealing with an outbreak of the human metapneumovirus HMPV 5 years after the COVID-19 pandemic. Reports on social media posts suggest that the virus is spreading rapidly, with some claiming that hospitals and crematories are overwhelmed. Videos shared online show crowded hospitals, with some users saying that multiple viruses including influenza A, HMPV, Mycoplasma pneumoniae, and COVID-19 are circulating. There are even claims that China has declared a state of emergency, though this has not been confirmed. HMPV is known to cause flu-like symptoms and can also present symptoms similar to COVID-19. Health officials are closely monitoring the situation as the virus spreads. A social media post by an ex-handle known as SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 wrote in a post, China is facing a surge in multiple viruses including influenza A, HMPV, Mycoplasma pneumoniae, and COVID-19, overwhelming hospitals and crematoriums. Children's hospitals are particularly strained by rising pneumonia and white lung cases. Meanwhile, a news report by Reuters has said that China's Disease Control Authority said on Friday that it was piloting a monitoring system for pneumonia of unknown origin, with cases of some respiratory diseases expected to rise through the winter. The move to establish a dedicated system is aimed at helping authorities set up protocols to handle unknown pathogens, in contrast to the lower level of preparedness 5 years ago when the novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19 first emerged. The National Disease Control and Prevention Administration will establish a procedure for laboratories to report and for disease control and prevention agencies to verify and handle cases, state broadcaster CCTV reported, quoting an administration official at a news conference. Data for acute respiratory disease showed an upward trend in overall infections in the week of December 16 to 22, according to an official statement released on Thursday. China is likely to be affected by various respiratory infection diseases in winter and spring, Gan Bio, another official, said at the news conference. He said without elaborating that the overall number of cases this year would be smaller than last year. Recent cases detected include pathogens such as the rhinovirus and human metapneumovirus, with cases of the human metapneumovirus among people under the age of 14 showing an upward trend, especially in northern provinces. In a recent interview with the state-backed National Business Daily, a respiratory expert at the Shanghai hospital warned the public against blindly using antiviral drugs to fight human metapneumovirus, for which there is no vaccine but whose symptoms resemble those of a cold. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.